Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Nick Dyson and I'm here to help you unlock your future through leadership, personal development, and personal finance. Now, podcasting, that is an interesting topic. Seems to be very popular, especially over the last couple years. Everybody's looking into podcasting. I got into podcasting and I've learned some things, and especially from all the research that I've done, YouTube videos that I've watched, articles I've read, I've got some things that I want to share about podcasting. So, can you podcast from YouTube? The answer is yes, but it doesn't work like you think. So let me explain. All right, so podcasting, everybody's gotten into it, everybody's enjoying it, everybody's got a message. I fully believe everybody's got a story to tell, everybody's got a message, everybody can grab a mic and jump on and create a podcast. So podcasting on YouTube, you can grab your phone. I'm recording on my cell phone. It works. It's easy to do. You can record a podcast, publish it out there, and try to get some listens. Now, here is the interesting thing with podcasting on YouTube. Normally, if you go and look at a lot of podcasting channels, you will be able to find several that have tons of views, tons of subscribers, and it looks like podcasting is really successful on YouTube. But if you start to dig through the details and really dig down into it, most people don't watch podcasts on YouTube. Don't get me wrong, some do, but not everybody. Podcasting on YouTube is not what YouTube technically is intended for. You'll find that a lot of people, and myself included, I had an automatic share for my podcast linked up to YouTube, and it would share a little audiogram. Here's a screenshot of what it looked like. And this is what it would auto share over to YouTube and publish it out. Now, with that said, it would do a very limited description. It would be limited to what my characters were on the podcasting app. It would not give me any hashtags unless I specifically researched them and then added them myself. There was no video tags. There was nothing to help me get my message out there on YouTube at all unless I logged in specifically to YouTube and then treated the podcast as if it was a YouTube video. Just putting that out there. Now, the other thing that I learned is most podcasting apps and podcasting platforms, you really only see, so for example, if I open up Apple Podcasts, I'm really only going to see what is popular, getting downloaded a lot, and highly rated. So if you're not getting a lot of downloads, a lot of listens, and ratings, people are not going to find your content. So that's another struggle that podcasters run into. So when podcasters think of that, they go, okay, well, I can put it on YouTube because YouTube is the second largest search engine in the entire world, and people can type in for Joe's podcast and they can find me. But the problem is, how did they hear about Joe's podcast? In truth, they probably haven't, so the odds of them finding it are still extremely slim. So unless your podcast is addressing topics that are showing up in YouTube searches or are trendy or in some way, most people are still not going to find your podcast. I hate to tell you, that's just the way it is. Unless you do marketing, you reach out to people, you get family and friends to listen, or you find somewhere to host and share your podcast, you're just not going to get listens. Now, I don't want to be all Debbie Downer here and say that podcasting on YouTube or podcasting in general does not work. But I will tell you, my YouTube videos get as much or more views than my podcast does. You can take that for what it's worth. YouTube videos, because YouTube is a video sharing platform, do way better than podcasting. So the answer is yes, you can grab your phone, you can grab a free app or some podcasting app, you can record a podcast, you can put it out there for the world to hear, but how do you get the world to hear? That's the challenge we've got to overcome. What I would recommend for you, if you're looking at podcasting on YouTube, is don't focus on just the audio or just the podcast, make it a video podcast. Talk about topics that can show up in YouTube search, make it more like a YouTube video. Now, if you don't want to share your face, some people don't, then a lot of YouTube videos you see in that way are more animated graphics. You don't see a lot of podcasts just sharing the audiogram like what I had on mine. being very successful, if really any being successful. If you have examples of one being successful that I'm not aware of, leave it in the comment. Prove me wrong, tell me I'm wrong. By all means, please do. I don't mind at all being wrong, being corrected. I'll acknowledge it and admit I was wrong. But YouTube is not a podcasting platform. That's not what it's designed for. It can be an extension of your podcast. It can help you grow and reach more people, but it is not the exclusive house for your podcast. Focus on one or the other. Focused on video content, video editing, getting it out there, publishing, that kind of thing, or focus strictly on your audio and growing your podcast listeners. For me, I'm using YouTube as an extension to grow my podcast, my following, and my social media presence. If my podcasting channel never really gets to 1,000 subscribers, if I get up to 100 or 200, I will be happy with that. My primary focus is the podcast across all channels and what its impact is globally, and what my YouTube channel here under my name, Nick Dyson, how it's doing and how it's performing. If you go and look at my podcasting channel compared to this channel, you'll see I've already got more subscribers. The video content is different. I'm publishing shorts. I'm getting content linked to Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and so on, because I'm trying to grow my media presence across everything. Because I can't impact people and add value to them unless I go where they are and reach them on the platform that they're at. But if people are logging into YouTube, they're looking for videos. Now, I know some people do not watch YouTube for videos. They will just cut on a video, set it aside while they're driving, and listen. Don't recommend searching for YouTube videos while you're driving, but some people will strictly listen to YouTube videos. It doesn't mean that's a wrong way to use YouTube, but that's not the primary way. I don't know what the number is, but let's say hypothetically 80 to 90% of people are actually watching the video in some way, then you're really missing out if you're not providing them something visually to look at and to understand. So I challenge you, if you're going to podcast like me, focus on growing your audio presence on podcasting platforms, get it out there across all platforms, find a way to show it, promote it across social media, and grow your presence that way. If you're going to do a podcast here on YouTube, get a video camera. It will definitely help. More people will listen, more people will be engaged, more people will follow, because again, if you go and do your research, you go and watch videos, listen to what people have to say, look at YouTube channels that are doing podcasting or podcasting channels, the most successful ones are video podcasts. People are watching and listening to the podcast. It's not just audio only. I would focus on either YouTube or podcasting if you have limited time, or if you have a way to more automate your systems. I have a pretty good automation system. I can combine a lot of tasks. That helps me to produce more content. But if you don't have that, then be cautious. Don't overextend yourself. Focus on growing your presence in either podcasting or YouTube, or find a way to combine them in some way in an effective way. So, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for joining me on my channel. If you like this, found it informative, it would be greatly appreciated if you would drop me a like, subscribe along, producing more content on leadership, personal development, and personal finance. So follow along, more videos, and I hope to see you in the next one.